of this plan that we implemented will work. We gotta go through our trials and errors, and and seek for those that are to and fro on the Shabbat day, early in the morning. So, with that being said, if anyone knows of any good locations that we can go to, please feel free to let us know. Any good locations from in the morning from 10 to 2. Anywhere we can go where our people is constantly either shopping or a lot of foot traffic or any events that come up that start early, let us know so we can go ahead and hit up those areas as well. The goal is to hit up, Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, Stewart, even Jensen Beach, and find those that are in those areas, right? The publicans, the sinners, right? The ones that are trying to change but don't know how to change. Any information will be valuable to us. So, feel free to give us that. We live now? All right, hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This marks the first day of our schedule change here at the Light of Zion Treasure Coast. We want to say Shabbat Shalom to the family online. Shabbat Shalom to everyone here in the flesh. May the Most High continue blessing you and enduring to the end as we continue the Shabbat day. Remember, the Shabbat is from Friday evening to Saturday evening. So don't forget to log into the Light of Zion on Friday nights with our Captain Monatizak, who goes into a lot of history. Right now he's going through the book of Matthew. Don't forget to log in at 12 p.m. at the Light of Zion channel for the Shabbat service at 12. And here now, we will be going live at the Light of Zion Treasure Coast around 4 p.m. Between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. To close out the Shabbat. So we want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to the Most High Yahweh for his mercy endure forever. In the name of Mashiach Yahushai. Continue in mirth and gladness. We're in the middle of our Kanakah. So I'll show our Kanakah to those here. I'll show our Kanakah to the family online throughout the four corners of the earth. Right? It's a dedication. Rededicate your temples. Right? Rededicate your homes. Rededicate your mind as we continue enjoying the mirth and gladness through this Feast of Hanukkah, through this Feast of Dedication. So with that being said, we're going to dive into today's portion. Let's open up with the word of Yah, Colossians 3, verse 17.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of our Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right, so everything we do it in word and deed according to Yah's will, according to his holy scriptures. Right? We are a representation of the light, so we must represent right. They made us in their image, so we need to uphold that image to the best of our abilities, to our strength, as the scriptures say. Right? So today's portion is Genesis 41, verse 1, to Genesis 44, I believe, verse 17. I don't know if that's the whole chapter. I don't think it's the whole chapter. So we continue in Joseph's journey, his story, which is one of the most important stories in our history, right? As we study our history and understand the journeys and stages that our forefathers went through, right? We're going to touch upon prophecy today. Joseph's patience in this portion, right? And pretty much, giving all praises to Yahweh, because without him, we wouldn't be where we at this very day. Without the faith of our forefathers and the patience of our forefathers, we wouldn't be here where we are today, right? So with that, go ahead. Let's go to Genesis 41, verse 1.
Genesis 41, verse 1. And it came to pass that...
Everybody's there? Genesis chapter 41, verse 1. All right, come.
Genesis 41, verse 1. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat-fleshed, and they fled in the meadow. in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed. And he stood by the other kind upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kind did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kind. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, and rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted, with the east wind sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream.
It was a what?
It was a dream.
Right, so Pharaoh dreamed a dream. He dreamt 2 dreams, right? And in his dreams, he dreamt the 4, the prophecy that was going to come to pass of the land of Egypt going into a famine. And we read this story several times. I don't think we need to break it down. Do we need to break it down? We understand what the 7 years represent and why and how the 7 years ate up the other 7, right? The 7 represent the 7 years of famine and of that nature, and the resources that was about to get consumed in this famine. Right? Let's continue.
Verse 8, and it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt.
You call for who?
All the magicians of Egypt.
Come on.
And all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh.
Right, so a lot of people hear the word magicians and they think that the Bible is a fairy tale book, right? That is a book of mythological terms and things that are metaphorical. Well, I mean, it is a lot of metaphorical terms in there, right? But these magicians, all they are is what we have this present time, right? Right, Cap? What we got out there? We got tarot readers.
Yeah.
We got palm readers, right? So Pharaoh woke up and he was troubled and he needed somebody to interpret this dream that he dreamt, right? So he called on, Leo. Is that Cleo? Right? Call me now.
Them crystal, them that got the crystals and witches and
right.
Scientists and his best men.
Right, astrologers.
Exactly.
People that deal with the horoscope. He called it said all the wise men thereof. That in Egypt, this is what they consider to be wise.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's read on. And Pharaoh told him.
Verse 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do
Hold on, you didn't finish verse 8.
Oh, verse 8. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh.
Why was there none that can interpret this dream? Well, no, that's not even the question I should ask. Not yet. Right, so they called all the wise men thereof, all the magicians of Egypt, and none could interpret his dream. Right? Let's read on.
Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day.
Can everybody remember why the chief butler made this statement? Why did the chief butler make this statement? I do remember my faults this day. Garza?
Because when he was in prison, he spoke to Joseph about what would happen to him, and he gave him that prophecy that he was going to be out of jail.
Well, why would it be his fault?
What didn't he do?
Azrael?
He was supposed to let the king know when he first got out
Oh, yeah, that part.
of the what Joseph did. That's what it's supposed to do.
Right. He was supposed to give word when he first got out and his dream was interpreted correctly. He was supposed to, give credit to Joseph and be like, hey, Joseph was the person who interpreted this dream. He helped me out. Let's get this person out. So he forgot to do that. That's exactly it's in, I believe, Genesis verse 8, 40 and verse 8, right? We don't have to go to it. He made a promise. No, Joseph asked him, hey, when you get out, please don't forget about me. Let the Pharaoh know about me, right? Let's continue reading. Verse 10.
Verse 10. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me and ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh.
Right, so you know Joseph was in here for a while because they had to shave him, right? So his man's beard, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was in prison for 2 years, right? Since they made this, I don't want to say the promise, but he asked them not to forget about it. Since he interpreted this dream, he was in jail for 2 years, so make a mental note of that, right? You have something, Cap?
No, I just put apply what you just saying.
Oh, okay, kind. Let's continue reading.
Verse 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed the dream, and there is none that can interpret it.
There's what?
And there is none that can interpret it.
Come on.
And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret.
Come on.
And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me.
It is not what?
It is not in me.
Come on.
God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
Right, so immediately what did Joseph do?
Give credit to the Most High.
What did Joseph do? Ezra?
Interpretation belonging to the Lord.
Right. So like Barazal said, and next time raise your hand.
Okay.
Right? He gave credit, he gave all praises to Yahweh. He made sure not to take any of the credit. Right? Let's get a couple scriptures in regard to that. Right? Because a lot of times, Israel is known for this, for coming up, this mic still sound low. For taking, coming up with these visions, they get these dreams. They say, we're going to get, they're going to come to redeem us 2000, what was it? When the new millennium came, 2K, 1999. We had many people say, oh, Yahweh Shai was going to come back in the year 2000. We had many people say we was going to redeem in 2019. There's nothing in the Bible that says that we know the time. Even a Mashiach Yahweh Shai don't know the time. Right? So sometimes we fall into this, we get these dreams. Nah, that sounds good. We get into these dreams, we have these dreams and we try to interpret it and try to say, oh, this got to be a prophecy that I'm about to see, right? There was flies in my dream, right? There was these locusts, right? I think the plagues is coming, right? And not understand first. Matter of fact, let's get this scripture. Let's get Ecclesiasticus 1:1. Let's get the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. Let's get the book of Ecclesiasticus 1:1. Let me get it real quick. You can read
The whole prologue?
No, 1:1. Chapter 1, not the prologue.
Okay.
Sirach 1:1.
Okay. Sirach chapter 1, verse 1. Verse 2, it says
Verse
who
2.
can number?
No, I mean, it doesn't say verse 1. No, all wisdom.
Okay.
That's verse 1.
Good.
You
You
get
had
it?
to get it from there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There you go. They don't have the number 1 there, but that's the first verse. Mm-hmm.
Sirach chapter 1, verse 1. All wisdom cometh from the Lord.
All what?
All wisdom cometh from the Lord.
Read.
and is with him forever.
Right, so that's exactly what Joseph did. He made sure to acknowledge that interpretation, right, which is wisdom, come from the Lord. He said, no, God is going to give you the interpretation, not me, but God, right? Let's get the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 20. All the prophets of the Most High, all the righteous men in the Bible, they made sure to give all credit to Yahweh and not take any of that credit, right? These magicians that the Pharaoh called upon, these so-called wise men of this earth, they take all the credit, right? They don't give any credit to God, right? They say, yes, I'll interpret a dream. Yes, I'll read your palm. Yes, I'll do this. I do that, right? They don't give any credit to the Most High. They don't say any wisdom come from the Most High. Even the God they worship, they don't even say that they get their wisdom from that God, right? It's them. They're the reason why they can break down something. Let's get the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 20. We're going to read it, verse 22.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 20. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever.
So we remember that Daniel did what? He did something similar as Joseph, right? He also interpreted some dreams. Go ahead.
For wisdom and might are his.
For what?
For wisdom and might are his.
Come on.
And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings.
Go ahead.
He giveth wisdom.
He what?
He giveth wisdom unto the wise.
Unto who?
Unto the wise.
Read.
And knowledge to him that know understanding.
And knowledge to them that know understanding. Go ahead.
He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him.
Right. The Most High did this for Joseph. The Most High did this for every prophet. Right? He's the one that gives them this understanding of this dream. So that's exactly what Joseph did first, right? Was to give all praises and, give all credibility to Yahweh first. Right? Let's go back to the portion. He didn't take any credit from interpreting that dream. Hold on. I got a good one. Let's get Amos 3:7. Select it. Because remember, Pharaoh called on all the magicians of Egypt. He called on all the wise men of the earth, and they couldn't interpret the dream. That's something very powerful that we need to focus on real quick. Right? Read Amos 3:7.
Amos 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants.
Unto who?
Unto his servants.
To his servants. Come on.
The prophets.
The what?
The prophets.
The prophets. Right? They don't say, I don't think anything here says that Joseph is a prophet, but by his actions, he's a prophet, right? Mm-hmm. He's interpreting dreams, right? That's what a prophet does, right? They tell you what shall come to pass, right? But they always make sure to give all credibility to Yahweh first. Now we can go back to the question. So he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Yeah, something, Cap?
Yeah, like you were saying, his actions showed he was a prophet because he prophesied what was going to happen in his dreams. And they were like, was prophecy, He told him what was going to happen, how he was going to, his thought was going to be higher over his brother and mother and things like that.
Well, he didn't interpret that dream. Remember, he just gave it.
Yeah.
He didn't interpret the dream yet. He's probably, you got to understand, as we read, is when he probably got, what they call that, an epiphany?
Yeah.
When he realized, this is what that dream meant. Remember, he didn't interpret it. He just gave the vision.
So more like a prophesize too, like prophesizing of that, even though it's a dream.
No.
Okay,
Prophecy is you interpreting the dream now, because now you telling them what shall come to pass. He's telling the Pharaoh what shall come to pass. That's an attribute of being a prophet. Prophet Isaiah, and these are things that the Most High gave him. Prophet Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, they tell you, the Lord said this shall come to pass, right? And because let's get Job. The book of Job, 33, verse 14. So when he received that dream, he was just a lad. He was just a child. He didn't understand the dream yet. He just told them the dream. Obviously, when he's explaining it to them, it is what it is, right? I have a dream, and I tell you, you're going to bow down to me. There's not much explanation you have to do for that, right? But he didn't understand the true interpretation of that dream, most likely until later on when he's in Egypt, and he's what we're about to read today. But let's read Job 33. I believe you can start at 14.
Job 33, verse 14. For God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not.
Right, a lot of times we get these visions and we don't understand what the vision is. That's why we come with our own interpretation, right? Come on.
In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction.
Right, he sealeth their instruction in our dreams. That's why, prophets like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Nehemiah, Amos, they've received their instruction, they've received their interpretations and instruction in their dreams, right? In their visions. That's why they knew, that's why they'll say, thus saith the Lord, right? And they'll also say, the Lord said. They wouldn't say the Lord is saying this because they're not having that communication at the moment. It's because they've been given that instruction, they've been given that communication in either a dream or a vision, and they'll say, the Lord said this. Because many times Jacob, it will say, the Lord said to Jacob. The Lord said to Abraham, because they sealed their instruction in the dream that they already had. Right? All right, we can go back. Let's go back to the portion.
Genesis 41, verse 17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-flavored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kind did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them up, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blasted, when the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the Egyptians, but there was none that could declare it to me.
Right, go ahead.
And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine.
Shall be what?
Shall be 7 years of famine.
So Joseph is explaining what the dreams are and what the ears represent and what the kind represent. Come on.
This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he sheweth unto Pharaoh.
Right? What God is about to do, right? Of something that's a future prophecy, right? This shall come to pass. Come on.
Behold, there shall come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It was because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass.
So he explained to him why he received two dreams. Because how grievous the famine was going to be, and that it was confirmation that this will come to pass from Yahweh. Come on.
Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt.
Read that again.
Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt.
Come on.
Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be the land of Egypt, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants.
Right, so Joseph told Pharaoh, set a discreet and wise man over the land of Egypt, right? And he gave them the solution immediately, right away, right? And Pharaoh saw that this was a good solution in his eyes, that this was gonna, this was gonna work out well, that it made sense, right? Read on.
And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is? A man in whom the Spirit of God is?
A man who what?
A man in whom the Spirit of God is?
Go on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, forasmuch as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
So Pharaoh had to question himself and question all his servants. Is there anyone that is wise and discreet enough and has the Spirit of what? The Spirit of God in them, right? And Pharaoh said, there's nobody as discreet and wise as you, right? And what we got to understand is that sometimes, right, positions that we play in our lives, I don't want to say that there was doubt in Joseph's mind, but he's in the land of his captivity, right? He's not trying to seek for that high position, right? But he gave them a solution.
He sold that thing.
Right? He sold it, right? Go ahead, Ezra.
I was just going to quote Proverbs 22 and 29. I quoted it.
Proverbs 22.
And verse 29.
Okay, come on. Right? Sometimes, that happened to me before. Sometimes we come up with ideas and solutions, right? We present them, and like the Spirit, or like they pull a reverse Uno card on you and say, well, you handle it. You take care of it, right? Like we come up with ideas like, we should have, these things going on, or, we should do this and that. And the Most High just say, well, you lead it. You take the charge, right? Since it's such a good idea, right? You go ahead and handle it and implement it, right? Go ahead, read it.
God.
If you got something to add on.
Oh, God. I forgot this movie where it's Will Smith and he had his kid and he was trying to sell his product.
Oh, when the Pursuit of Happiness.
The Pursuit of Happiness. He was waiting for that one opportunity. Joseph took that one opportunity and sold that thing. He said discreet and wise, and he made sure he gave all that, the whole answer.
I was just going to say, the reason I was pulling out that verse, every position that Joseph was put in, he had success. So he was wise and diligent.
Mhm.
So also when he was thrown into prison, he was all right. They put him in charge of the prison, pretty much. So I just want to add that to it. But go ahead.
God. And what I recognize this position. This is the position of an architect, right? This is a business architect. So he gave what architects do is they know the technical side of what needs to happen, but they have to sell it to the executives,
Yeah.
right? And what he did was exactly that.
Con.
He said, set a man discreet and wise. Discreet, so these people don't understand what's going on, and wise, they know how to do it, right? And he gave the way to do it. Yeah, I mean, so he gave him everything on a full platter and said, dang, the Pharaoh's like, dang, I don't have to look nowhere else.
Right.
He gave me everything he could do.
Right.
And I know him already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And even too, he had the spirit of the leader on him too. So he had like a leader spirit on him, even from his youth, from telling the dreams.
Con.
So it was there always on him like that, you know, because he fitted every criteria that would need to be fed. He fitted it.
Yeah.
Like Captain Barnacle said, he sold it.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man for it. So,
Right.
You did that thing.
Go ahead, read.
39. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, 40.
22 verse 9.
So
Oh, no, yeah, he called a precept. We can read it. Proverbs 22 verse 9.
29.
Oh, 20 and 9?
22 and 29.
Oh, 29. Man, this 20 and 9 is 29?
You want that?
No.
What you got?
20 and
Proverbs 22, verse 29.
Yeah, read 29.
Proverbs 22, verse 29. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men.
Con, read verse 9. I was looking at verse 9. Right? Go ahead.
22, verse 9.
Same chapter, verse 9.
Con.
He that hath a bountiful eye shall be blessed.
Right. So, verse 29 is basically, someone who is diligent in his business, right? He gonna stand on his business. He gonna be about his business, and he also would be, what's the word I'm looking for? Successful, right, before kings, just like Joseph was successful before the Pharaoh, right? Because he's a diligent man in his business, right? He had a bountiful eye. So not only did he get, we're about to find out that he's about to be blessed, but now he blessed the whole land of Egypt. Because we're about to find out how the land of Egypt became the number one resource in the entire earth, right? Everybody came to the land of Egypt for because of the solution that Joseph provided to Pharaoh, right? Go ahead, yeah.
And the whole land was going to go through the famine. Because remember, Jacob is going to come later because the whole land is going through the famine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So everybody got money, they just don't got food.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's get Proverbs 2 and 11. Right? When you look at the word discreet, if you guys got the definition in your phones, you can grab it, right? But here's just some synonyms of the word discreet, right? Eloquent, right? Prudent, skillful, right? Someone who can discern, understand, instruct. That is someone discreet, right? Let's get Proverbs 2 and 11.
Proverbs chapter 2, verse 11. Discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee.
Right. And this is why, man, who was talking about it the other day? I think we were talking about it the other day on our soldiers class about discretion. More amongst the woman, but it applies to the men as well, right? In the sense that we need to have discretion on the way we present ourselves, right? The scriptures say what? This is a wise proverb. Read it again.
Discretion shall preserve thee.
Right, because when we have discretion, right, we can, no matter what scenario we in or what environment we in, if when we come in with discretion, we're gonna be able to handle whatever presents ourselves. But we come in there rowdy, or loud and proud, you don't know what's about to happen to you, right? But discretion shall preserve thee. Why? Because as the scriptures say, a soft dancer.
Turneth away wrath.
What?
Turneth away wrath.
Turneth away wrath, right? Discretion shall preserve thee, and understanding shall keep thee. And what was the other attribute that they asked? That he told that this man needs was to be wise. Right? Let's get the book of Psalms 111 verse 10. One of my favorite scriptures right now. Right? Pharaoh said, who on earth, well not for earth, who in the land of Egypt have this spirit of God? Right? And what that spirit represented was wisdom. Who has this wisdom of Yah? Right? This is someone, well, now we're going to talk about, well, we'll wait till he gets his title, right after what we're reading. But Joseph was a man full of wisdom, right? Because he had patience, right? He was prudent, discreet. The man's been going through trials and tribulations for the last, well, we about to find out, at least 20 years, right? He was sold into captivity. His brothers betrayed him, right? He was betrayed by a butler, right? Not remembering to give his word and get him out of the prison, right? He was betrayed by his brethren. He was also put into adversity because his master's wife wanted to take him, right? And he was able not to fall into that temptation, right? He went into jail, and like the captain was saying, and like Asher was saying, everywhere he went, he added value, right? He became the top person in the jail. So now they probably coming to this man for wisdom, right? I mean, I don't like to brag, but I've been in jail, right? I was in there for 10 days, and there was a guy that they called the lawyer. This guy is locked up. He's in there locked up doing time, years. But he was the guy that everybody go to seek for some wisdom in regards to your case. Go to the lawyer. I'm like, the lawyer? You go up to this man's bunk. This man got a wall full of books. And he's breaking down everybody. It was a line into this man's room. Hey, man, how can I beat this case? And it's like, that's how I'm envisioning Joseph in prison. They coming up to him for some vision, some understanding, some wisdom. Not only that, he was already being, what's the word? The word's going around that he's interpreting dreams. So you can imagine, man, I just had a dream about this and that, my wife leaving me, or that I was going to become rich. Is this really going to come to true? So you can imagine everybody's coming to him and they're like, yo, I'm going to look out for you when you get out of here. That's what they'll tell you. Yo, when I get out, I ain't going to forget about you. But they forget about him.
Yeah.
But does he become bitter? Does he say, you know, the heck with this, I'm gonna stop doing it? No, he continued the program. He continued being discreet. He continued being a wise man, a prudent man, and he stayed in his faith, right? Until the right time, right? What's that you want to say? Okay, let's read. Psalms 111:10. So he told Pharaoh, he gave the solution. He said, you need to set up somebody who is wise, discreet, and wise. Come on.
Psalms 111 and 10.
Let's see where that wisdom comes from.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
The what?
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Come on.
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
Read.
His praise endureth forever.
That's how simple as it can be, right? The wisdom comes from the fear. Because when we fear Yahweh, that means we take heed to all his instruction. And we use that same instruction to apply to, it's kind of like a righteous way to fearmonger, right? We take that instruction that we receive because we fear Yah, and we want our brothers and sisters to fear Yahweh as well. Because that's the only way you're going to obtain wisdom. If I'm the only one fearing Yah and everybody else doing whatever they want, we're going to be here forever. So we kind of have to like do what Esau do in the news media, right? Talk about wars, promote all these things. Man, this is going to happen. If you don't repent now, you might lose your opportunity, right? Because that's the beginning of wisdom, right? Fearing the Lord, right? And those that keep his commandments obtain understanding. We fall short from the law, right? But in a family, in a spiritual family, congregation, amongst us, we pick each other up. The goal is that we got to get up if we fall short. You can drop that. Let's go back to the portion.
Verse 40 of chapter 41. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled.
Read that again.
Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled.
So he's going to be over Pharaoh's house, who is the king of Egypt, right? And according to Joseph's word, is how everybody shall be regulated. This man went from being in prison to being the ambassador of Egypt.
Immediately.
Like that. Just like that. Let's continue reading before I go into patience. Keep reading.
Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
Only in the what?
Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
So we all know, I mean, not all we know. For those that watch like Game of Thrones, right? He became the hand, right? He's basically the hand. The hand has power to make decisions for the king. The only time the hand is overthrown if the king disagrees. But he's the one on the throne. But the hand can go, he goes to the meetings, he goes and deals with the other kingdoms, he does everything, and he can sign for the king. Right? That's why they call him the hand. He's the king's hand. Right? That's what Joseph just became. Right? Let's continue reading.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand.
You see? This is where these kingdoms be getting these type of customs and traditions, right? Because they, in the Game of Thrones, right, they don't give them a ring, but they give them like a pin, right? They put the pin on them, and that's how you know that this guy is serious business, that he's the second hand to the king. Over here, the ring had to have a signet that represented some type of kingdom in Egypt. Now Joseph is wearing it, right?
So this happens with royal families, and this is something that we Israelites also did.
Right.
So the signet is actually, it just has the family crest on it, and it's an indentation on the in the ring. Instead of there being a jewel, it's just the family crest engraved in it.
Right.
So anytime you have wax, you just stamp on that paper, and it leaves the family symbol on it to show that the family signed off for it, right? And so the head of the family would always have this ring. So the man always has this ring, or in this case, the Pharaoh has this ring.
Right.
So he just gave him the Pharaoh's, he's basically Pharaoh's mouth now. You know what I mean? So he can decree anything he wants.
Right.
And it goes down like that.
Right. Joseph just can't say, this got to be done, and it's his word. He needs that signet. He needs that ring to confirm everything. Just like we're going to go into the story of Purim in a couple of months, right? How Haman, when he created that decree to kill all the Jews,
Yep.
he needed the king's signet. He needed his confirmation, right? So everybody throughout the other kingdoms can do it. We'll do it. Like, okay, the king said we got to do this. If Haman just wrote this letter and it didn't have the king's signet, they would have looked at it like it was garbage. Like, this must be a lie. Like, we're not going to fall for this. Right? Let's continue reading. He arrayed him.
Oh, sorry. And arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
Right, so he put him in some nice linen, put a Cuban link on his neck, right? These guys used to wear big old chains back in these days. Go ahead.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, Bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
He made him what?
Ruler over all the land of Egypt.
So Joseph went from being and this is not to what's the word I'm looking for? Devalue these positions, right? But he went from, because technically he's a shepherd, right? When Jacob sent them out to go check on his brothers, that's what they deal with. Shepherds, the sheep. Hey, go check what your brother doing with the flock, with the cattle. So, you know, in correlation with his family, he's also a shepherd. So he went from being a shepherd, right, to being sold into slavery, right, being put into jail, to now being ruler among America. I mean, let's just put it down. Let's just bring it to now. He became the second man next to Donald Trump. Right? He's the second man next to Donald Trump. And what, you know, this is you know, we use that term about filling in the gap. It doesn't really talk about his patience right now, but obviously he had patience. Right? Go ahead, Cap.
And he's not even from that nation. He was a Hebrew.
And they know it.
And they know it.
Right. They said, where's that Hebrew? Right? But that's what happens when you have faith. Let's get the book of James. Chapter 1. Verses 3 and 4.
James chapter 1, verse 3 and 4. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
Right, the trying of your faith worketh patience. When you believe in God, when you believe in Yahweh, and you really believe that what you're doing is going to be beneficial when that time comes, he trieth your patience, right? Go ahead.
God.
Read it again from the top.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
Right. So the trials and tribulations, the stages that Yahweh puts you through, is trying your faith. It's not necessarily all the time I'm getting punished for something I've done in the past. Yeah, that happens too, right? But let's say you've been doing everything right. Let's say you've been doing everything correct, and the Most High is still trying your faith. It's because that's what worketh patience. That's what builds up your patience. Right?
If I might add, this is we probably already said this before, but this is actually how you handle your business when you're first coming about. When you first start your business, you might be in Joseph's position. You got all the products. It's all in you. You got the right thing, right? But you need that one referral for someone to really put you out there before kings, like our brother showed us in Proverbs 22, verse 29. You know what I mean? A man diligent in his business. You got to be diligent in your business, and you will stand before kings. Right? You're not going to stand before me, men. But you may low, not getting no customers right now. Right? For as long as Joseph did, right? Just waiting for that one shot. Right. And you will get your one shot, and you will be standing before kings.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy, because a lot of people be like, I need to have my own business so I can get freed up. Like, what? You know what a business consists of? It's like you about to become your own slave, right? Because you about to be the manager, the administrator, right? The HR person, right? You about to be customer service. You about to be all that unless you have a team. But even with a team, you gotta go through all these stages, right? Until what? Until that perfect time.
So the Most High bring it.
Until he give you that time. Watch. Read it again.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
Come on.
But let patience have her perfect work.
Let what?
But let patience have her perfect work.
Let these trials and tribulations that we go through, let it have its perfect work. Let us go through these bad things. Let us go through these. We have to go through these things. Why? So we can also be an example, right? To those that are going through their trials and tribulations, so we can relate, right? Captain Monizah pulled it yesterday, about Christ. Let me get it. I think it's in Matthew 9. Continue reading. I'm gonna find it.
But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
Wanting what?
Wanting nothing.
Right, not wanting the material things of this earth, of this world. Right? That all you want, you obtain what you wanted, which was your faith. Right? You obtain, you tried your faith. You realize that the faith of a Mashiach Yahushai cannot be altered. Right? That your belief in a Mashiach Yahushai cannot be altered. Right? You have to try it. That's why Messianics exists. That's why Old Testament exists, because we have to try our faith. You got people that don't believe in Christ, and you got people that don't believe in the Old Testament, right? So they'll come at you with these philosophies, right, and these doctrines. It's to try your faith. All these religions that have been created, all these organizations, it's to try your faith. So don't ever be afraid. Don't ever shun somebody. Because for you to really understand if your faith is strong enough, you gotta take heed. Hear them out for a second, right? But don't fall for it though, right? And you steadfast in your doctrine, or you will stumble, right? So this is what Joseph did, right? He let his patient have his perfect work. The man was in the ditch, right? He was in jail for several years, right? And now he's the ruler of Egypt, the second man in charge in Egypt, riding around in a Rolls Royce now, right? The second chariot, right? Let's go back.
Come. Verse 44. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his head or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number.
Where you at?
Verse 50.
Okay.
And unto Pharaoh were born 2 sons before, and unto Pharaoh were born.
Unto Joseph.
I'm sorry, and unto Joseph, Salaki.
Go ahead.
And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bare unto him.
Come on.
And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For God, said he, hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, or Pariah. For God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Right, so he ended up, the Most High blessed him with 2 sons, and the names of his sons were a representation of what he went through, right? And of what he had suffered, right? Manasseh name means that he had made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. Everything that Joseph was going through was toil, right? And Yahweh made him forget that. How? By blessing him in the land of his captivity, right? That's why he named Ephraim. The meaning of Ephraim name means to be fruitful in the land of my affliction, right? She wanted to give you some more tissues.
The water. Cap, do you have that, the water? The whole thing? Water. All praises. God, the other precept, in affliction, there should be no remembrance of prosperity. In a prosperity, there should be no remembrance of affliction.
If I have it lined up, no.
Yes, okay.
You know where it is?
God, can you?
I got it. Let's get it. Right? So, in his affliction, you know, Yah covered him. Yah blessed him. Right? And he came out with 2 sons. Right? Now, Manasseh was the older one. He's the first one that came out. And then Ephraim is the second born child. Right? While we look for that, let's get Psalms 75, verses 6 and 7.
Iraq 11:25.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I found it. What do you want for Psalms?
We can read it.
Okay, come on.
Let's read some rock.
Sirach chapter 11, verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
Right. And a lot of times, you know, our people, we fall into that ditch because not only is there a forgetfulness of the affliction, but we forget Yahweh. Right? In our prosperity, a lot of times we forget Yahweh. Come on.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
Right. It's like we tend to forget that we was prosperous and that we can get out of this stage. We can get out of this hole once again. Sometimes our people get depressed, right? We lose jobs, or we lose our lives, or we lose, money, right? And then we get depressed and we fall into this hole and we forgot that we was once prosperous, right? But to become prosperous, we gotta, have our faith in Yahweh, right? Let's get that Psalm 75, verse 6 and 7.
75 verse.
Pharaoh called Joseph, what was the name again?
Zephaniah?
Yeah, which, that's a long name, which basically means, according to the blue letter, that he is the treasurer of the glorious rest, like of the things that Egypt is about to reap, right? That's what that name, his surname means, which was basically a nickname, right? But
God, that's very accurate, because that precept and what he was saying, they're about to go through it twice, because it was said in the dream, or when Joseph interpreted it, that Egypt was not going to remember. They're going to go through so much famine, they're not going to remember the prosperity, right? And now Joseph is now in a situation where he named his son that God made him to forget his affliction, right? So that kind of happened twice.
right. Let's get Psalm 75, verse 6, and 7.
Psalm 75, verse 6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but God is the judge.
But what?
But God is the judge.
Come on.
He putteth down one and setteth up another.
Right. All promotion, all prosperity comes from Yahweh, comes from God, from God, from Yah. He shall be the ultimate judge. He's going to be the one to determine if we will be prosperous or not, right? As I said, it don't come from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But a lot of people want to, like the Muslims, they always look to the east. But there's something in there that we're looking to, that we're lifting up our hands to, that we're lifting up our heads to. So if we live on the east coast of Jerusalem, that means we'll be looking to the west, right? But we live on the west coast of Jerusalem, and that's why we look towards the east, because Jerusalem is towards the east, right? That's what's in there. Yahweh, his spirit is there. That's why I said it don't come just from the east, from the west, from the south. It come from Yahweh, right? All right, we can drop that. Let's go back.
Come.
So yeah, his name, that's Zavnath Paniah, means treasury of the glorious rest, right? He was going to be in charge of the rest that they was about to obtain through his interpretation of the dreams. So let's go back.
Verse 53 of chapter 41 of Genesis. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the land, it was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
Right, come on.
And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, and what he saith to you, do.
Come on.
And the famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses, and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came unto Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
Right, so what Esau normally do when there's hurricane warnings or tornado warnings, right? He opened the storehouses. He tell everybody, come get it, come buy it now, right? Well, before it all disappears. What Joseph did was the opposite. He stored everything, and when they needed it is when he opened the storehouses. And remember, he charged, is it going to say in the next chapter? He put like a interest on it, on a surcharge where, did it say it in his dream?
The next one?
Am I saying the next chapter? Let me see.
I think you might be saying the next one.
Yeah, where he went over the land. No, right here in verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this and let him appoint officers over the land and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And no, that's not it. All right, don't worry about it. But he ended up charging them more for what they needed, right? So let's go back. Let's continue.
God, he making real business right now, because he's literally taking all the wealth and putting it into the treasury of Egypt, not just from the Egyptians, but from all the lands, right?
So now we're in chapter 42.
Chapter 42. Now, when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another?
Right, come on.
And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befall him. And his sons and the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan.
Right, so they heard these rumors, they heard these, the things that were going on throughout the earth from the land of Canaan. Just to show you how word goes around and how, people are constantly traveling, right? So, the word got to Jacob like, I've been hearing about this corn in Egypt. How come we don't got our hands on this corn? Come on.
And Joseph was the governor over the land. And he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
And what happened?
And Joseph's brother came and bowed down themselves before him with all their faces to the earth.
Now, Joseph's dream has been fulfilled. The dream that he told his brethren, the very same dream that they hated him for, that they, quote unquote, killed him for, or sold him to captivity, right? It just came to pass, right? Another title they gave Joseph, governor, right? We look at governor as something that's lower, but it said governor over the land, right? So the entire land of Egypt, he was governor, not just for one state or city, the entire land of Egypt.
Governor of governors.
Right? Come on.
And Joseph's brethren saw, Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them. Socket. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food.
This is a this is just a side note, right? You know what? I'm not even gonna say that. But read that again from the top.
God. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye?
Right, so this is just a sidebar. Why do you think Joseph knew who they were? Right? And I'm going to take this answer away from y'all before y'all say it. We haven't received the commandment for fringes yet. Right? We haven't received the commandment for fringes. That comes later in Numbers. Right? So there had to be something. There was probably a way that determined who we were. Right? Attire. They all got the beards. Right? Because they're all older men, except probably Benjamin.
That's right.
Probably the only one that was still young. But who knows? He probably already had a full beard. But also our attire. Right? Our attire. But, you know, we can say it's possible that we had the fringes, but from my understanding, that was something that was given to us in Numbers, right? In the time of Moses. But there was something that had how many, it's been, if I'm not mistaken, it's already been like 17 years, almost 20 years since they seen each other. Something, how he knew that that was them. There had to be some type of separation from the Egyptians and from the other nations when the 10 brothers came and approached him. He said he saw his brother and he knew them, right? But he made himself strange unto them, meaning, you know, he started probably speaking in Egyptian, right? Spoke to them roughly, so they don't even get a sense who he is. But remember, I don't know how long it is before they seen him, but they already had him shave his beard when he came out of jail, and he got Egyptian clothing on right now. He got the attire of Egyptian. Go ahead, Cap.
Con, I know this about royal families, and from the way that Abraham came down from Isaac and Isaac to Jacob, what royal families do is that they do wear a one color, right? They have, not only with their signet, they also have a crest, and they have colors of the crest, right? So they were probably wearing all the same colors, and it was probably a rare color, right? Like blue or violet or something like that, right? And they probably wore that all, and they had the beards, everything in their ways and all that type of stuff. Maybe some gold or something here, right? But royal families, then Jacob knows how to carry his family. You know what I mean? So I expect him with all the blessings that he got, he carried as a royal unit, just like Abraham.
Right. Remember what Joseph had.
Con.
Go ahead, Elder.
I believe he was old enough to remember it.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Right? It's possible. I mean, 20 years. Well, you know what? They're already adults. He was the young one, so they probably didn't change much, like you said, Elder, right? But I think we're gonna, as we continue reading, I think there was a big dispensation of time, a big gap, because remember, he was sold into slavery. How old was he? 17, right? We're gonna see how old he is in a little while. You got something, Barca? All right. Let's continue reading.
Con.
Oh yeah, what I was going to mention was Joseph had the coat of many colors, right? So he definitely, the children of Israel, the children of Jacob, definitely had some attire that, you know, was accustomed to the Hebrews.
Specific.
Right? So we can continue reading.
Con. Verse 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, that is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh surely ye are spies.
Right, so he's playing with them right now, right? He remembered the dreams that he told them, right? And he was like, let's have a little fun with this, right? Come on.
And he put them all together into ward 3 days. And Joseph said unto them, the third day, this do and live, for I fear God.
Read that again.
This do and live, for I fear God.
Come on.
If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die.
And ye shall what?
And ye shall not die.
Come on.
And they did so.
Right, so he even threatened them with death, right? He threatened them with death if they don't come back with Benjamin, right? With his youngest brother, right? Go ahead.
And they said one to another, we are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us.
Come on.
And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child? And ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
Right, so what's going on now amongst the brethren? What's going on now amongst the brethren?
Nigga, did I tell you?
What normally goes on when a bad idea when a bad idea has been done and you start reaping from that, right?
Is it the blame game?
Right. Now they're pointing fingers, they're arguing, I told you not to do that, right? Let's get Galatians 6, verse 7. Immediately, right, they thought about what they did to Joseph. That then been hindering them every year. Every year they've been thinking about Joseph. Until now it finally like smacked them. They're like, man, now this is it, right? That's what the scripture say. Let's read.
Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
Right. So, they really don't know what really happened to Joseph, but in their mind, they think Joseph is dead, right? And they're gonna say that in a little while, right? Or did they say it already?
Yeah, one is not.
One is not, right? In their mind, Joseph is gone. So now that's why Reuben said, read again what Reuben said, verse 22.
And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
Right, they understood what? They understood when you take blood, or when you shed blood, the Most High required blood to go back into the earth. It got to be blood for blood. It got to be life for life. Right? Did you finish Galatians?
Let me see.
Yeah, I think so. You can just read verse 7.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Con. Let's get the book of Job, chapter 4, verse 8. The book of Job, chapter 4, verse 8.
Job chapter 4, verse 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity.
They that what?
They that plow iniquity
Come on.
and sow wickedness
Read.
reap the same.
They reap the same. You know, you reap the same. You soweth iniquity. You soweth wickedness. You soweth fraud. You soweth you soweth whatever. It's gonna happen to you, man. I can attest to this. So many things I've done in my life as a younger person, it happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Fraud, thief. People done stole stuff from me because I used to be a thief. I committed fraud. Fraud was committed on me, right? The Most High has nothing to play with. Whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Whatever a woman soweth, that shall she also reap. Right? That's why we got to be real careful. Right? Let's go back. You have something?
Yeah. God. 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 42.
Oh, you got it there?
Yeah. 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. Like as there is no slackness in the last,
There you go.
so there is no swiftness of the first.
Read it again.
I will liken unto me.
Where you at? Call it out.
2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 42.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
Why is it unto a ring? Why is the Most High's judgment unto a ring? It said Barza. Ezra,
It just keeps coming round and round.
right? What the world say? What goes around
Comes around.
That go in
Right?
circle.
Like a ring. The Most High's judgment like a ring. Whatever you sow will come around and get right back to you. What does one call it? Karma.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Go ahead, finish it.
Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
Right. Come. You want to add on to it?
And that goes into another, like you said, that was karma. That's biblical karma. So, the Indians, they made karma. That was biblical first, right? And that also goes into the script, I believe, in Ecclesiastes, where it says that just because the Most High doesn't judge immediately,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It does, thus their hearts are fully set on them to do wickedness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because he doesn't do immediately. When in this, it gives you the precept that there is no swiftness of the first. So it's not going to be immediate. You have time to repent, right? But when it does hit you, ain't no slackness.
Right here. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11.
God.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Got chapters, dope books.
Huh? Read it again. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Right. It's not executed speedily, which means no swiftness of the first. Right? It doesn't hit them immediately. But when it does hit them, it'll hit up like a truck.
Right? Verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him.
Mm-hmm. That has sense.
But it shall not be well with the wicked.
Exactly. No slackness of the last. It'll hit them like a truck every time.
That's it.
Got it.
Right, so that they immediately began to think about Joseph because they know what they did. Right? Even though Reuben, it wasn't Reuben's idea, but he's what? He's still an accomplice. He still lied to his Abba. Right? So he's still part of this as well. Right? The Joseph's blood will be required in his hand as well. That go along with when we out about the watchers, if they don't warn the people, right, the blood shall be on their hands, right? Even though you're not there committing the sin with them, the blood shall still be required if you don't say something, right? All right, let's go back to the portion.
Verse 23 of chapter 42 of Genesis. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter.
Right, so that's another thing right there, right? So they was having this conversation, right? But verse 23 let us know what?
They didn't know.
Verse 23 let us know what? I'm not going to give it away. Joseph saw them, they started arguing with each other. Reuben told him why we did this. And verse 23 said, they knew not that Joseph understood them. What was going on? It's right there. Go ahead.
He was speaking in the Egyptian tongue. Well, he was going through an interpreter, so they didn't think he understood. He was just basically.
What the brothers were doing.
Oh, they was fighting. They was just going through the whole story.
But they were speaking Hebrew.
Yeah, speaking Hebrew. Yeah, speaking Hebrew. Yeah.
They were speaking Hebrew.
Yeah.
That's why Joseph knew who
Right.
they were,
Right.
because
So-
he was an interpreter between them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the water. That's another point right there
Right.
that knew right away why Joseph knew why they were his brethren. They were speaking Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, that might be the first thing.
Mhm.
Because remember, they don't know. They know that this man's a Hebrew, right? But they don't. I don't think Joseph had to use any Hebrew with anyone in Egypt. Well, anyone in the royal, right? In the courts, in the city hall, he probably didn't have to use that. Why? Because it's an Egyptian land. It's they're Egyptian citizens. He probably was speaking the Hebrew in the jail though. I bet you there was some Hebrew servants in there, locked up, right? They knew about this man. Why? They called them the Hebrew, right? All right, let's continue reading.
And he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them
Somebody
Simeon.
read that part again. Where you at?
And 24, verse 24.
Okay.
And he turned himself about from them and wept,
And he what?
and wept,
Come on. Read.
and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes.
Right. So even though he was playing this game with them, he still was hurt. He still was hurt from he was still sorrowful and sad from the hurt that his brethren did. Right? He began to weep. Right? You said you had something, boss?
I was gonna ask that all those years of resentment that's built up, and for him to forgive them was taking a lot.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
And if I may
Go
say,
ahead.
there was already a rift in the house because of the wives, right? Because most of the brothers were born on Leah, and then the other were born on Rachel. Because Joseph loved Rachel more, right? And he wanted to be with Rachel more. There was already a rift. You know what I mean? This is exactly why Benjamin stayed back, because Rachel is dead, and Joseph's gone. The only person left from the preferred side of the family is Benjamin, right? The only thing he has to remember Rachel and Joseph, only one, right? So from that, there was already a rift in the family beforehand. You know what I mean?
There was already division amongst them. Come on.
Come.
I'm looking for the scripture in Sirach about forgive thy brother of thy hurt. Let me see. I'll find it. Forgive thy brother of thy hurt, or thy friend of thy hurt. It's in Sirach.
It's Sirach 2082.
Let's get that.
So Rob 28 verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
Right, so let's read from verse 1.
Come.
Because we gotta understand, Joseph was what? Oh yeah, read from verse 1. I'll get it here. Joseph was the second man in command, the second hand in command. He could have done anything he wanted to his brethren, right? He could have told the Egyptians, take these guys to jail and put them in there, and they'll be in there for the rest of their life. He didn't need no proof to what they done. He could have just made that call, and they would have had to listen to what he said, right? The reason why he was weeping, because he knew he still had to forgive them. Because this is a wise and discreet man, right? Read it.
Torah 28, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord.
Right? He that what?
He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord.
So Joseph, being a wise man, he understands this, right? He's playing with them, but he hasn't taken full vengeance, right? He's playing around with them. He's making them go through something, because what they reap, they shall sow, right? What they sow, they shall reap, right? Let's read.
And he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
Right? That person who avenges, right, and don't allow the Lord to do that work, the Most High going to remember your sins, right? He going to remember your sin. Come on.
Forgive thy neighbor.
Forgive what?
Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee.
Right.
So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
Right. And I mean, I don't think we've seen a moment where Joseph committed sin or made any mistakes, right? But we understand that what? That, Joseph wasn't considered to be a perfect man, so he probably fell short of the law, right? But he understood that the vengeance has to be in the hands of the Lord, right? If not, the Most High will remember our sins, right? Let's go back.
Verse
So
25.
he was still sorrowful. He know that his brothers, he's trying to keep up this facade, or he's trying to play this game with them, but it's bothering him. It's still hurting him, right? Let's read.
God. Verse 25. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laded their donkeys with the corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his donkeys provender, in the inn he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God hath done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men.
Come on.
Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your household, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me, then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not. And will ye take Benjamin away? All these things are against me.
Right, so now Jacob just get more mad with his children, right? This is how you know that, children was something very important amongst our customs, amongst our traditions, something very valuable as an inheritance, right? Because this is what Joseph, based his whole life on, his children, right? Now he's becoming more, he's saying, Joseph is dead, right? Now Simeon is not here, right? And now you're trying to take away Benjamin away from me, right? The baby, right? Come on.
And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again.
Right, so Reuben spoke up, being the oldest son, right? Because that's what normally the oldest son do, right? He speak up and he say, just kill my 2 children, right? Take my 2 children if we don't bring Benjamin back. All right, come on.
And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. And the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their fathers...
You're in a different chapter now.
Oh, sorry. Chapter 43. Okay. And the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food.
Right, so some time has passed on because now they done ate up all the corn. Remember, they was asking each other, why you looking at each other like this, man? They starving, they hungry, right? Like some of the faces I see right now in here, right? You guys is like, damn, man, what is Shabbat? What is Shabbat food? Can't go a day without eating. Like, man, I don't know how you gonna survive in a famine? Sheesh. Our brothers looking at each other, they looking famished, right? It's just a day, man. It's not even a day, it's just a couple hours. Hold on, man, hold on. Come on.
And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
Right, so, the food is done, and it's time to eat again, right? And Jacob was like, look, go ahead and go buy us a little food, right? And Judah had to remind him, we can't go up there without Benjamin now. Go ahead, Kat.
Simeon's still locked up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Simeon doing time, man.
And Simeon's still doing time.
Right, Simeon had to take one for the he had to take an L for the team.
Yeah.
You gotta think too, they probably bought a lot of corn, but the animals probably eat a lot of corn.
That
They
too.
gotta
The
feed
herd,
They gotta feed the cattle.
Yeah.
Because that's what we feed off. We
Yeah.
feed off the cattle.
Yeah.
Not only that, that's our business too.
Yeah.
So if the cattle's not healthy, then the money gonna stop coming in, right? And then we ain't got nothing to eat if our cattle is famished, looking like a bag of bones.
Looking like the ill-favored kind.
Right. Looking like what the Pharaoh had in his dream. Right? Go ahead.
If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down.
So now they protesting, right? They say, listen, Jacob, listen, Abba, if we don't go up there with but that's how selfish they are too, right? They wasn't willing to suffer for what they done to Joseph. They told Jacob, we're not going back up there without Benjamin. We're not about to reap what we sowed, right? We're going to stay here and let Simeon suffer in jail. The wicked Israelites, man.
Right. So how long, sorry,
Go ahead.
how long were they out of Egypt while they had all that food? How
I
many
mean,
months?
It was...
a couple of days, probably.
Days.
It,
I think it takes days for them to get there.
Yeah.
it was lit.
And to go through all that food, it must have been a while.
It was until that food was done.
Right, so
It gives
it's gonna be weeks. It's gonna be weeks before they got back to Egypt, right? Even the traveling itself, Could be months. Right? Go ahead. So remember, they went to the land of Canaan,
Yeah.
right? And
Joseph
Egypt-
was in the land of Canaan. I mean, Jacob was in the land of Canaan.
Jacob was in the land of Canaan, so it could be a 30-day trip just to get to the. Now remember, they're not just in Egypt; they're in the city, right? They were the king sits, so that's like that's gonna be the city of the land, right? Not all Egypt is a whole city. Go ahead. It's the land of Egypt.
Verse 5. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, The man asked us straightly of our state, and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down?
Is that true? Did Joseph just come out and say, Hey, where's your young brother? No, these guys were trying to deny the accusation of being spies. It says, we be 12 brethren, right? They're the ones that told Joseph that they're 12 men, right? And that one of them is not, right? They continue lying to their Abba. Go ahead, Cap.
And them jokers said what they need to say to get out of it. They said
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
They never take any accountability. That's how you know this is the so-called black Latinos, man. We never take accountability for the things that we do. This is why we're still in the conditions that we're in right now. Go ahead, Cap.
This is the same kind of answer that Aaron gave when he made that golden calf.
They forced me to make the calf.
The same kind of answer. Oh, up came this calf. He just came out the fire. Right?
Go ahead.
Gone. Verse 8. And Judah said unto Israel, his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones.
Right, so they'll counterattack with facts, as you know, even though they being wicked, right? And they keep mentioning how they'll sacrifice their children. So now Jacob is like, man, now these guys keep talking about, hey, take my children if things go wrong. Come on.
I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever.
Right, so they're manning up to a certain extent, right? They'll take blame if things go wrong, right? But they still lying to their Abba. They still protesting. Simeon's over there locked up. They ain't trying to go back over there and save the man. Right? Come on.
For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time.
Right. Now he over here saying that if you would have just made up your mind the first time, we would have been back already with Simeon and Benjamin. Right? Go ahead.
And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds, and take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks. Carry it again in your hand, peradventure it was an oversight. Take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved.
Right. So now at this point, Jacob is just, He's going to deal with whatever result happens from the decisions that they make. And if he be bereaved of his children, he'll be bereaved, right? To show you how important it is, how valuable your children are to you, right? Jacob understood that. Let's read on.
And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time, are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen and our donkeys.
Right, so what's that scripture? There shall be no rest for the wicked. I think I'm saying it correct.
Is that Psalms?
I think it is.
With the wicked there shall be no rest,
That,
but there is no rest. There's no slackness in the last.
This is not really. I was thinking something else, and I think it's Psalms. I'm reading it, but rest in the
You know where it says there's no peace for the wicked?
I'll say it again.
There's no peace for the wicked.
It might be that. I'm saying rest.
Isaiah 48 and 22.
Let's get that.
I remember it's like the last verse in the chapter.
You said Isaiah 48?
Yeah, verse 22. Or you,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
this is it.
And then you got another one, Isaiah 57 and verse 20 to 21.
All right, read that one first, Isaiah 48.
Isaiah 48, verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
Yeah, come on. Read that again.
There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
Let's go to Isaiah 57. I think this is the one I want. There's no peace. The men, Joseph saw that Benjamin is with his brethren, so now he's bringing them into his house. This is an example, or this is an act of hospitality, right? He's bringing them to his house. But what's going through these men's mind, because of their wickedness, that they're in deeper trouble. Like, oh man, they bringing this to the house. He know he gonna think we took the money, that we stole the money. There's no peace for the wicked, right? Go ahead, read Isaiah.
Isaiah 57, verse 20. But the wicked are like the troubled sea.
Right, they just constantly looking behind looking over their shoulders, right? Looking behind them, always paranoid. Why? Because of their wickedness. Come on.
When it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt.
Read.
There is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked.
Right. There's no peace. So it's like, as soon as they get into the house, let's go back. Let's go back to the portion. Read verse 18. Isaiah, Genesis 43, verse 18.
Verse 18. And the men were afraid.
They were afraid. And they ignoring completely that for you to get an opportunity to come into the governor's house is a sign of hospitality. Right? Why would he want to like either put you to death or sentence you to jail in his house? He could just do that from the courts. He could do that at the gate. As soon as you come to the gate, send these men to jail. But because of their wickedness, there's no peace. There's no rest in them. Right? Go ahead.
And the men were afraid because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time, are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen and our donkeys.
Right. When you know, when I was in the world, you driving doing madness and you get pulled over by the police, you're like, oh, they got me. I got this stuff in the trunk. They finally got me. Right? And they pull up talking about your tail light is out. But there's no rest for me. There's no peace because I'm being wicked. Right? I'm going through this. I'm doing these things, so I'm constantly paranoid.
Now you look guilty.
Right? And this is the constant condition, too, of our people. Right? Which they don't understand that. Why they constantly paranoid whenever the cops pull them over. Because when you're a righteous man, you're not going to worry about the police. When you're a righteous man, you're not going to worry about certain situations. Why? Because we understand Proverbs 67. Matter of fact, let's get that. Proverbs 67. When a man's ways, that's the one you think about? Oh.
No.
Go ahead, Ezra.
What you're talking about is explained in chapter 40 in great detail.
Oh, come.
About the thoughts of man and
Come, we'll
the
go
thing
there.
they fear.
I believe it's Proverbs 16:7 or 17.
Yep, that's it. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord,
Right.
he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
Right, so when we please the Lord, our enemies will always be at peace with us. When we please the Lord, let me not say always. They will be at peace with us, right? Right? There's times where the Most High is going to try your faith. There's times where the Most High is going to try and see if you're going to allow your patience become that perfect work, right? But when we please our Lord, there's a higher probability that we'll get out of these situations. But if you're being wicked, like the brethren, that's why they constantly walking on eggshells. They like, man, the Most High about to take us away now. Right? You said in the book of Sirach?
Yeah, chapter 40.
The whole, is there like a direct point?
It's 1 through about, well, it covers a lot, but I'm just gonna say this. It says it's 1 through about 11.
Yeah, let's read.
So it goes into such things come upon all flesh.
We'll read 1 and 2. We'll read 1 and 2. No, this is definitely good. And then we'll probably jump.
I think it starts at about 8 or so, something around that point.
Let's read 1 and 2 and then jump to verse 10.
Okay. Sirach chapter 40, verse 1. Great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke upon the sons of Adam. From the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Come on.
Their imagination of things to come, and the day of death trouble their thoughts, and cause fear of heart.
Right, because we've been born in iniquity. We're born into sin, right? Come on.
Verse 11. All things are of the earth. I'm sorry. All things are of the earth.
Oh, read verse
10.
Verse 10.
Okay, these things are created for the wicked, and are.
So like you jump to verse 5 and then jump to verse 10.
Okay,
Read verse 5.
Verse 5. Wrath.
Wrath, come
and
on.
envy.
Read.
Trouble.
Come on.
And unquietedness.
On what?
Unquietedness.
If your mind is constantly like, you're fearful, you're paranoid, right? You don't know what's going to happen to you. Hey, you heard that, brother? Is someone at the door? Right? Come on.
Fear of death.
Because that's fear of death. Because of the wickedness that and that's why it said travail created from every man and heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, right? Because of our what our forefathers have done. Unfortunately, we're born into this. We're born into this fear. We're born into this paranoia, right? Come on. Go ahead.
I have one more to add to this one. In Colossians 1, verse 21, it talks about because of your wicked ways, what you do, you have enemies in your mind. So I should get that one.
Come on.
But let me finish what you're
Yeah, let's finish here.
Wrath and envy, trouble, and unquietness, fear of death, and anger, and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night's sleep, do change his knowledge.
Right. Jump to 9.
Verse 9, death, and bloodshed, strife, and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge.
Read.
These things are created for the wicked.
For the who?
For the wicked.
Come on.
And for their sakes came the flood.
Right. What flood is it talking about? The flood that the Most High warned Noah about, and Noah was warning our people about, and they wanted to continue in their wickedness. Continue partying, continue drinking, marrying, committing fornication, adultery, right? Sodomtry, if that's a word, right? All these things, right? Paganism, right? You guys got it? You want to add on Colossians?
Yeah, let me get that. Colossians chapter 1, verse 21. And you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, hath he now reconciled. So we had these things. These are enemies in our mind. These are devils messing with our mind because of our wicked works. You know what I mean?
Right. Come on. Let's go back to the portion. So there's no rest. There's no peace for the wicked, right? Because we know we did something wrong, and we feel like, and we understand that a righteous karma. So we understand what we sow, we shall reap. We just there waiting for it. But because you're wicked, there's no peace. There's no rest. You constantly like, man, you know. That's why them people in that life, right? And you know what life I'm talking about, right? They constantly have weapons by the door. They got weapons by their bed. They gotta have a weapon under their pillow. They sleep with their pillow, and there's a weapon under their pillow, man. Mm-hmm. It's because of their wickedness. Because if they were righteous, they wouldn't be scared like that.
Pillow block.
Right?
Pillow
Let's
block.
go back. I always sleep with that thing on me.
Never lacking.
Right?
Verse 19.
Come.
Verse 19. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, "O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight. And we have brought it again in our hand. And the other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks." And he said, "Peace be to you. Fear not, your God and the God of your father hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money." And he brought Simeon out unto them.
Go ahead.
And the man brought the men into so I get. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their donkeys provender. And he made ready the present against Joseph. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon.
Remember, because Jacob said, bring honey, berries, and almonds, and nuts, and give it to him as a present, right? Because we are hospitable people, right? It's the same thing that happened with Abraham, same thing that happened with Lot, right? We always hospitable in this aspect, right? Those are Hebraic attributes that Joseph was presenting to him. Come on.
For they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and they bowed themselves to him to the earth.
And they what?
And they bowed themselves to him to the earth.
So didn't Joseph drink 2 drinks? Remember?
Mm-hmm.
He drank 2 drinks that he told his brethren. Right? The first one he said that their sheaves shall do obedience to his sheaves, and the second one was that all the 11 stars or the 12 stars, that the sun and the moon and the 11 stars shall show me obedience. right? They bow down to his brother twice, right? And this also go against that because some people bring out this argument when it comes to Cornelius being an Israelite. They'll say, "Oh, Israelites don't bow down to other Israelites. That's why he's not an Israelite." What we just read right now. We just bow down to Joseph, right? They probably don't be reading the portion, right? Let's read on. Verse 27.
Verse 27. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well? And the old man of whom he spake, is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance.
There you go again. Come on.
And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother, of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there.
Right, because that's the love of the brotherhood, right? That's that same very love, that very same love that we need to have amongst each other as we continue to strive in this work, right? The man couldn't find nowhere to go weep, so he went into his bride chamber, right, to his chamber, right?
He's about to break down.
Right, and then not only that, it's Benjamin, which he had a more closer relationship with, right? Because it was only him and Benjamin that were the children of Rachel, the sons of Rachel. Come on.
And he washed his face, verse 31. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, Set on bread. And they came and they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians, which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Right. It was an abomination to eat with the Hebrews. Right? To show you that all that crap that Martin Luther King was talking about, right? Can we all just get along? It's been since the beginning, we have been a segregated, that's the word?
Yeah,
a segregated nation. Right? We are pro-segregation here. Right? They said they set a table for Joseph by himself, right? For them, the brethren by themselves, and also for the Egyptians, right? And obviously Joseph couldn't eat with them because then they'll look at Joseph like, hold on, wait a second, right? Oh no, I'm sorry.
But they knew he was Hebrew.
Yeah. It was for the brethren. The brethren would be like, wait a second, you eat with us?
Yeah.
Oh, you a Hebrew, right? They would have started realizing like, wait, hold on, man, something's up with this guy, right? Let's keep reading.
And another thing, it shows you the Egyptians didn't eat with Joseph. They were by themselves away from him because they knew he was a Hebrew.
Right.
So
you can imagine how much crap they was talking about Joseph throughout the land of Egypt. This damn Hebrew.
They better not.
Right? This damn, behind closed doors. This damn Hebrew, he running things. This Negro. Why is he in charge? They were talking like that about Obama. He wasn't even a real so-called African American, right? But just because of the color of your complexion, or that you might portray to be, a Hebrew, right? They dog you. They're like, you don't belong in that seat, right? So they still, even though this man was the governor, the second-hand man, they still separated themselves from Joseph. Why? Because he was a Hebrew. Go ahead, Kevin.
Verse 33. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him.
Right. So at this moment, there was this, this moment of mirth and gladness. Right. They marveled at one another. They're like, yo, I can't believe
This happened.
this is what's going on right now. Right. I can't believe that we're not either put in jail, right, or we've been put to death. Like, it was too good to be true to them. Come on, let's go to the next chapter.
It was a beautiful spread.
Go ahead, Ezra.
I just wanted to add, I was just talking about how the Egyptians didn't want to eat with Joseph. As the children of Israel left the land of Egypt, and you're talking about Aaron and the cattle and the cow.
Yeah.
The Egyptians worshiped the cattle.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, but Israel, we eat cattle. We ate our cattle. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they had no dealing with the sheep herders. That's why they got the pot of land
Right, in Goshen.
and Goshen.
Mhm.
Hallelujah. I just wanted to add that in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Con.
That's what they use the word abomination. Abomination means what? A wicked,
Test-
filthy
yeah,
act.
Yeah, you know,
Right?
Yeah.
So they considered it to be a wicked, filthy act if you sat down with the Hebrews. It remind me of what? What it remind us of?
Esau.
Think modern. Yeah.
If you
Right.
the civil rights,
Esau, yeah.
you have the black fountain, the Negro only fountain, the white fountain,
God.
the black only bathroom, and the whites only bathroom.
Thank you.
Diners, schools, anywhere you went into, a whole what was it called, redlining?
Red line. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Is it Revelation 11 and 8 or 8 and 11? Spiritual Babylon? Spiritual Egypt?
Revelation 11, yeah. I think it's, yeah.
Let's get that real quick. You had something, Cap?
Yeah, I was gonna say in reference to what the brother Azaria said, it's almost like the so-called the East Indians. They don't eat cows because they see the cows as like spiritual creatures. And
Right.
whatnot. It's the same thing as them seeing us or them sitting down next to us eating like a hamburger. They'll be like, that's an abomination. You're eating a spiritual creature right now. You know?
There's 11 and 8, Cap. Revelation 11 and 8.
11 and 8?
11.
Right. That's perfect, right?
Yeah.
So all you so-called blacks and Latinos, right, you need to understand that America is spiritual Egypt, right? The same way they didn't want the so-called blacks to drink out the same water fountain, to eat from the same restaurants, to be in the same schools, was an attribute that they got from the Egyptians, from the Babylonians, right? Go ahead.
God, that makes full sense. What you said that when they were talking about Obama when he was in office.
Remember, they didn't care this man was not African American. They looking at him that he's a so-called black man.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, we need to get rid of this man. You could only imagine the talks they was talking about Joseph
God.
being the second-hand man in a land of our captivity.
God.
Right?
Because Joseph can't even keep no feast days with them. Because remember, again, when the Israelites were leaving Egypt, remember Moses said we have to go 3 days out because the sacrificing the cattle would be an abomination to the Egyptians. We had to leave 3 days out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Joseph probably couldn't even keep the same feast days as the Egyptians.
Right. Right. Read that real quick.
Come on. Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. Verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Sodom and what?
Sodom and Egypt.
Right. Spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Why? Because Sodom, because all the looking for a sugar-coated term, all of the alphabet crew tendencies that they push in this society, right? Egypt, of all the captivities that our people have suffered from the 1400s until this very present day, right? Our bodies are lying in spiritually and physically, right? They continue killing the so-called blacks and Latinos of this very day. And we're spiritually dead because we don't know who we are, right? The same tendency, this is how you know that Joseph and the 10 the 11 brothers are the so-called blacks and Latinos because they were treated the very same way. They had signs that said no Mexicans. No, it said no dogs allowed and Mexicans. So they was comparing, equating the Mexicans, the so-called Mexicans, to dogs.
Same level.
Right? And then they had signs, no colored people, no blacks. Right? Same thing with the, no N-word, right? Right? It's the same thing the Egyptians was doing to Joseph. To show you what's the nationality of the so-called, of the Hebrews, of the Jews. Right? Let's go back.
John.
I believe we stop at 17. Is that the whole chapter? No. So yeah, we stop at 17 and 44. Well, 44 and 1.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Genesis 44, verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the man's sacks with food, as much as they can carry. And put every man's money in his sack's mouth.
Right, and this is what we should do as brothers and sisters when we're in a certain position that we hook each other up. Right? If you can get your brother a job and the company you work for, get that man a job. Right? People who work under me, I'm showing my people more respect than them other jokers. I'm letting people get away with stuff. You can call out, I don't care. Right? It's a feast day, call out, man. We'll make one of these other nations do the work.
That's right.
Or we'll make the other ones that wanna act like an Egyptian, wanna act like a Edomite, even though they are people, but they wanna work on the Shabbat. All right, but us God-fearing people, we gonna look out for each other. Right? He said, put all the money back in their mouth, in their sack's mouth. Right? So they came back and they're gonna leave it more. Right? Go ahead.
And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken.
Come on.
As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, and they and their donkeys. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men, and when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good?
Right, so Joseph is still playing with his brethren. Right? He's still giving them a little payback for what they've done. Right? Come on.
Is not this it which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks, we brought again unto thee of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold?
Come on.
With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also be my Lord's bondmen.
Come on. See, they made what this sound like?
A declaration?
No, what story this is similar to? Who also made a bold statement like this, not knowing that the thing they was looking for was, now I'm giving it away.
Talking about some all my mama.
Oh, my.
No.
Jacob.
Remember that Rachel done stole her father's idols?
Yeah.
And he was like, if you find it amongst us, then that person should die.
Yeah.
He made a bold statement like that. Also did the brethren, right? Because they believed they didn't have that thing among them, right?
And another thing, it was in Rachel's possession.
Yeah,
And now it's in Benjamin's possession.
Look at that.
Imagine that.
Spiritual, right? Go ahead.
And he said, now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man's sack. And he searched, and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
Oh wow. I wonder what they're thinking.
Then they rent their clothes and laded every man's his donkey and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there. And they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? What ye not such a man as I can certainly divine? And Judah said, What shall we say unto my Lord?
Unto who?
What shall we say unto my Lord?
So now they're acknowledging that Joseph is our Lord to his face. Come on.
What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants.
God hath found out what?
God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants.
Come on.
Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also whom is the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so. But the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father.
Right. So that completes the portion. Give the Most High a round of applause. Right. You know, some of the major points coming out is how, you know, prophecy is in the hands of the Most High. Right. Any vision, dream, or any saying, right? Anyone that doesn't give credit to the Most High, that's not a prophet of the Most High. Right. The Most High gave Joseph the ability to interpret a dream. The Most High gave Joseph, all prophets, the ability to see things that will come to pass in their dreams, in their visions, right? We also learn that, right, through patience, right, you shall overcome, right? You shall overcome things. Joseph's patience, he was locked up for years. He was betrayed by his family. He was he was put through adversity, right? He was wrongfully accused and put in jail for that, right? Served the time, helped people, but people didn't help him back. But what he did, he continued to have faith. Why we know he did that? Because of the things that he ended up being prosperous of, right? We understood that he became prosperous because he had faith. Go ahead.
And when Christians be like, oh, this Bible is for everybody, they got to realize when it came to Joseph, right? When you look at today society, that so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans, we went through the same thing that Joseph went through. He was wrongly accused of something he didn't do, right? Blacks is wrongly accused for stuff they don't do, right? We get locked up for simple things. Somebody might snitch on us and we get locked up, right? What happened to Joseph happened to our people in this society right now. So people got to realize that the Bible, the same Bible that they read, is only for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the children of Israel.
Right.
God.
Right. We also learn, we're going to learn it in the next portion because we just chopped it off at 17, but Joseph is going to end up forgiving his brethren, right, of the hurt that they have done, right, of the hurt that they have done unto him, right, and that's the key. I mean, that is a topic we'll go into next week, because a lot of times we always say those things. Yeah, we forgive, but we don't forget, right? If they don't come talk to me, I ain't gonna talk to them, right? No. We got to do things the righteous way, right? Joseph playing around with them a little bit, right? Let's get Book of Romans 12 and 19, right? He understood. He playing with them. He making them go through a little tough time, but he hasn't take action. Remember, they plan to kill this man, right? He hasn't done that yet, right? He played with they spirit a little bit. He told them, if you don't do these things, then you will die. Then Pharaoh will have you to be dead, right? But he didn't fully take vengeance upon them, right? Read Romans 12 and 19.
Romans chapter 12, verse 19.
Because this is what we have to remember. Come on.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath.
Right. Don't take those things into your hands. Right. That anger you feeling, that resentment, that feeling of being let down by somebody, right? Put that somewhere. Right. Don't let that build up into you to start taking action to do things, making up rumors, gossiping, right? Causing strife in the congregations because one person did something to you, right? Be the bigger person, right? Avenge not yourself. If somebody truly did you wrong, or if you were truly taken advantage of or whatever, read.
Avenge not yourselves, but give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine.
Vengeance is what?
Vengeance is mine.
Come on.
I will repay, saith the Lord.
He will repay, right? In the aspects of you dealing with your brothers and sisters in this world, if Esau do you dirty, let the Most High repay them. That's why the Most High say, wait on him, right? Wait on him. I go for the prey.
Wait ye on him.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing it. I think it's in Zechariah. Is it 2:8? 6 and 9. Hold on, I got you. A lot of times we want to stand up and take this kingdom now.
Oh yeah.
No, we got to wait on him. Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says Zechariah. That's what it is. Zephaniah 3:8.
Till he come up to the prey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right? It's the same aspect of let the Most High avenge us. Let vengeance be the Most High, not ours. Right? Here in Joseph, we understand that he's playing around a little bit, right? But we don't have the same relationship that Joseph had with Yahweh, right? I can't interpret dreams. So the Most High allowed him to do that a little bit, right? Go ahead, read that.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey.
Right. That don't mean that we can't go train and get strong and work out and train ourselves with become that battle
axe.
That battle axe, right? The weapons of warfare. It don't mean that, but in that process, wait on him. Don't go ahead and rise up and go try to take Capitol Hill, the White House.
Yeah.
Right, going to City Hall, talk about everybody shut everything down. The Most High ain't gonna be with you. Right, read.
Yeah. Until the day that I rise up to the prey.
Right, so the same way that we have problems amongst one another, let the Most High deal with that. Right, forgive each other. Don't revenge. Don't avenge yourselves. Put your wrath. Allow your wrath to be put in a certain place. Let it sit there. Come on.
For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Right, and when that time comes, the Most High is going to use us, right, to pour upon them his indignation. He's going to use the angels. He's going to, use a Mashiach Yahushua, right? But we have to wait upon him, right? So with that, we'll end the portion. Give the Most High a round of applause. I want to say Shabbat Shalom to the family online. This is something new that we're doing. We're trying to see, the mission is to gather the fruit. Let's get that real quick. Let's get Matthew 9, the laborers. The harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Here at the Light of Zion Treasure Coast, we're trying to gather the nation, gather the lost sheep. So, we're implementing a new schedule change to see if we can gather our people out here in Port St. Lucie at a more active time, while they're out there shopping on the Shabbat when they shouldn't be, right? Going to Bravo, going to the supermarkets, right? We're gonna hit up these areas and try to gather those that are looking for us too. Because a lot of times I come across somebody like, man, I've been looking for Israelites in Port St. Lucie. And we like, where you been? We've been here for 3 years, going on 4. Right? So, we're trying to implement something new and see if we can gather the lost sheep of Yasharella. Read.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 37. Then he said unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
Right, so the harvest is there, the fruit is there. We need more laborers. We need more brothers and sisters to put forth this work, right? So we can continue keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and and be that righteous example unto the nation that walk in darkness, unto our people that walk in darkness, right? Go ahead, finish.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest.
Right, so as this Shabbat closes down, as we end the Shabbat, we want to say all honor, all glory, all praise unto the Most High Yahweh, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We want to say the water to the family here in the flesh that, adjusted to the schedule, the schedule change. Be patient with us as it's like a trial and error. We need to see if this is going to work. If not, we'll go back to our normal schedule. But with that being said, don't forget to support the ministry. Hit up the Cash App, $ LOZTreasurecoast. Continue sending your commitments. We got the new moon is this Monday at evening, right? The closing of the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, will be Tuesday at evening. If it's Yah's will, we'll do the new moon here. I don't know if we'll be able to do the closing because the same night of the closing, we got the New Year's rebuke. And we're gonna go to Fort Lauderdale, Las Olas, and go rebuke this month of Janus, this celebration of Janus that our people are caught up into and not understanding they're celebrating a pagan god. Right? They out there talking about we're gonna drink until the ball drop, right? Until it turned 12 a.m. It's already a new day when the sun went down. Right? It's not a new year and things of that nature. So, we still got to put forth the work and reach out the nation. Matter of fact, let's get Isaiah 49, verse 5 too. Let's get that. Right? And, the Most High tell us, through the prophet Isaiah, to keep doing the work, right? Because we're trying to be glorious in the eyes of the Lord. We're trying to put our brick in, right? It may seem like it's take a long time, but we have to be patient. Right? Get that.
Isaiah 49, verse 5. And now, saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant.
To be what?
To be his servant.
So we understand that we've been formed from the womb to be Yah's servant, right? Go ahead.
To bring Jacob again to him.
Well, right. That's our other purpose, right? Not only to serve Yah, but to bring the lost sheep of Israel back to Yah. Come on.
Though Israel be not gathered.
We know we on the four corners of the earth. We in New York, we in Florida, we in Baltimore, we in LA, and we know our people are stiff-necked and stubborn. Not everybody gonna come together, right? Read it again. Though Israel what?
Though Israel be not gathered.
Though they don't come to the sanctuary or keep the commandments, guess what? Read.
Yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength.
Yet we shall be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and our strength will come from Yah. So you want to say shalom to the family online, hallelujah, and Shabbat Shalom. All right, so Amadi and Wapanya, Yerushalayim will stand and face Jerusalem, set up the praises, and give Yah the praise.
Let me end it.
Yeah.